Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, looks like I got an issue with my webcam. Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, there we go. Sorry about that. My webcam wouldn't come up. All right. Now, let's get to building some ships. Oh yeah. Let's see here. That. Oh man. So how's everybody's day today? Pretty good? I hope. Mine was tiring. And it's raining, of course. Alright, let's pull up our ship here. That one. Started last night. I was trying to finish before I came on stream, but I might as well just go ahead and finish it now. I was doing the paint for the deck. You guys didn't have to sit here and watch me freaking paint all these squares. I ran out of time and needed to go to bed. Oops. Inside my building. Yeah, so this tanker is all custom built. I did not pull it from the Steam Workshop at all. The oil side holds almost 300,000 liters. And I have a spare diesel tank that I actually used instead of using one of the small or large tanks that the game provides. I actually created a separate fuel tank right behind the oil tank inside so that I can go longer distances and not have to worry about fuel. Little did I know, my little, I shouldn't say little, but I think it's like 4 or 5 squares by the width of this ship is like 50,000 liters. So that's a lot of fuel and a lot of weight. So, and this ship actually hasn't been field tested yet. A little bit of lightning there. Maybe actually kind of made me jump. The ship hasn't been field tested yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how it operates, and that's something that we're going to test here in just a little bit once I finish painting this deck. I don't want to leave and make it look weird. It'd just be weird driving around with half white, half gray. And if I put enough fuel in it, I don't want to put it back in the workshop, because the way my friends have the server set up right now is that it's limited fuel, I think it's called. So the moment you put it in the workshop and try to draw it back out, well, actually the moment you put it in the workshop, it drains all the fluids out of it. So if I put any kind of fuel in it, I'll lose it. So we'll just keep it out, and I'll save it for them to use. They've been talking about wanting a tanker. They're trying not to use the workshop as well. But a lot of them are going for the more mission-oriented stuff. So like doing the actual Coast Guard-based missions, where you go out and save somebody or go out and pull up an anchor that's been dropped in the ocean. But I looked more at the economy side of the game, since, I mean, obviously you need money to build stuff, so if we could generate more revenue per trip, then we can build bigger ships and progress further in the game. So that was my game plan. And of course that might change down the road a little bit, because running crude oil to go get refined is not necessarily the most exciting thing. But it's pretty cool being able to see your invention go cruising across the water. So that's what I'm excited for. And I actually haven't tested this since I put the large engines in. I found out at one of my tests yesterday that the medium engines to push this mass was not quite enough, even with the rev limiter set all the way up. So I ended up putting 2 large size engines in, but I haven't actually had a chance to field test it yet. We'll get to see how that goes. I should turn this on, make my life easier. What this does is it sets the symmetry, so when I build on one side of the ship, it'll actually build on the other side of the ship for me and keep it symmetrical. Makes everything easier. See, now that's painting over there. Try to hit those. I already painted that. Translate, nope. Well, let's paint this side. So this makes things 10 times easier when you're trying to do mass build, or not mass build, but a bigger build. And see, the side's already done. We'll just go ahead and paint all this up. Finish with that. Load her up with fuel and take her out. See how she does. Oops, did not mean to do that. Alright, went with the slightly red and gray theme. Kind of mirror a little bit of real life ships, I suppose. That's kind of what I was trying to go for. I kind of show the inner workings of the ship a little bit. These are the input-output pumps for the crude oil tank. They go up to connectors up top here, which is right here. One feeds in, one feeds out. This one feeds out. And then since we have potentially so much weight in the rear from the engine bay and the diesel bay, or diesel tank, I'd offset it with some ballast blocks. I may in the future convert this whole area into a ballast tank, and then I'll run a pump probably somewhere in the middle and be able to pump water in and out of the ballast tank so I can control how much weight's in the nose of the ship. I can't really do that with these ballast blocks for right now, but that's down the road. So this is the crude oil tank. I have a level sensor over here, so it kind of gives me a rough estimate of how much is in here. Excuse me. But this is where all the crude oil will go. And then this tank is the diesel tank, which I have also a fluid level sensor there. And I have an input and output port for fuel for loading and pumping it towards the engines. And then back here is where all the magic happens. So I have a pump here running the fuel into my engines. And then this pump is for pumping the fuel back out of the tank, just in case if I need to dock it and put it in the workshop and I have a bunch of fuel in there, I can just run that pump and flip the valve and it'll just pump it back up into the loading tank. And then these are all, this is purple is fuel lines, blue is water lines for coolant, white is air, and black is exhaust. And then I got 3 batteries. They're basically kind of hooked in sync of each other. Alternator right here. I probably don't need two power inputs for the alternator, but I just went ahead and did it anyways. And it produces about 50 volts or whatever it classifies it as. I think I can see. And then I got 2 gearboxes behind each engine on both sides. One is for general drive and reverse, and the second one is for a high gear, which we will see if these big engines can power the high gear. It did on my little ship that I found, but I don't know. These little blocks back here are your clutches for easing the propellers to spin. Then I have my rudders back here. And this guy here is a fin stabilizer to help control the trim of the ship. Then I got my water pickups for my coolant, which are ran by pumps. This is the outflow from the engine. And I believe that is it, really. But yeah, this ship is all... The only thing I took from another ship was the dimensions. Dimensions are similar to a workshop build I saw, but otherwise everything is purely custom. I did this all myself, and I'm pretty proud of it actually. It turned out really well, even with the little beady lines here and stuff. So let's save this, overwrite, and let's spawn it in the world and see what happens. Now I already know it's gonna float at least. I have tested. Oh, somebody let the fuel line out. I have tested that. We'll go ahead and reel the fuel line back in. The game's still alpha based, early access, so some of the stuff is a little glitchy, like you have a fuel line that runs through the ground that you can't really see because there's so much slack in it. We'll see if it brings it up. I might have to leave the server and come back in. This seems to be the only fix for the bug for the time being. Or fast traveling to another area, which doesn't look like we have purchased any yet. But yeah, get this fuel line back in and we'll get that the diesel tank filled up, and we'll go take our first spin and see what happens. Hopefully everything works out. And we'll go put some crude in it, and hopefully, hopefully we don't sink. So I haven't actually tested it with full weight of the 300,000 liters just yet. So while this is doing this, I think it's doing this. I don't think it's doing this. So we will implement the fix. Leave and come back in. Hopefully they fix it in the next patch, because it's pretty annoying having to fast travel out, or everybody actually has to fast travel out of location, not just you, in order to fix it, or somebody that is near you most of the time can do it for you, since it seems to be a user bug, not necessarily a server bug. Unless it gets jammed, then it's a server bug. I have seen it flip around back behind the hose reel and you have to sit there and finagle it out. Annoying little things like that. And come on, be nice to me. Are you gonna be nice to me? Nah, it looks like I might be stuck in my ship. Okay, we'll take that back to workbench. Put it out. And there's all the hose flopping around everywhere like a snake. Well then, hopeful at all. What are you stuck on? Oh, I can't see anything. Oh, there it is. If I can grab it, it's gonna kill me. A lot of times you can pick it up, but you can't do much with it because you run out of air so quick. So it looks like the hose might be stuck in the wall, because the end of it is moving around, which is just peachy. Turn that off, run it out. Sweet. Well, now we gotta figure out how to deal with this. If anybody has any suggestions, let me know. I don't know if any of you guys are Stormworks players and have dealt with this before. So any input is nice. Go with nice. Oh, is it real enough? Kinked up right there. I'll try to spawn the ship in and see if we can finagle it up there. Good. 16. Go with that one. Spawn. Oh yeah. Snake. Probably needs a server restart, but I don't have access to those commands, sadly, even though this is my friend's server. By golly, we're gonna die trying. I guess I could go in and put a scuba suit inside my ship. Might be the smarter option, because I did not get that very far off the ground. So yeah, if you're new to my stream, I play a variety of games. I'm not a one genre person, which is good and bad. I stick to mostly first-person shooters and simulations, and simulation also means like brick building or just straight simulation like farm sim. I actually might be delving into RTS again, which will be exciting. I saw that the Command & Conquer Remastered Edition will be released next week, I believe. So I'll probably swing and grab that and run a stream off that and kind of relive my childhood a bit. But we'll see. Knowing EA, they're going to mess something up. But at least Westwood had a large part in the remaster, even if EA jacked it up, most likely. But we'll find out. And I was excited for Crucible until I started looking at the reviews on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to play that yet. Have any of you tested out Crucible yet? I just saw that it was released at noon my time, Pacific Standard Time. Maybe you guys can give me a little heads up on it, if it's worth downloading or not. Nope. No, looks like it's still glitched. Alright, I'm gonna go put a scuba tank in my ship. Solve the air problem. Scuba, 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 dubba, dubba, dub, scuba. Where? Diving. Scuba? Diving? Scuba? Off the inventory unit containing specialist scuba gear. Equipped, it will allow diving to a depth of 50 meters in private air for 2 minutes. (250 meters) and provides air for 10 minutes. Excuse me. Go with that. Ooh, I can actually inlay that in the wall too. Sweet. Got the dimensions. Rotate this. That way? Yeah. We will put it right there. It's 3 by 3. I flipped around. If you're new to the stream, I am currently having issues with a bug, so I'm trying to resolve the issue. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. Resolve the issues of the bug. Hopefully be able to dive down and pick up my fluid hose for refilling my tanks. Wish me luck. I don't have access to restart the server. Find another way. And there's a snake. Oop. Oh, I actually see hose coming out of it. It might be a course. Probably works now. Let's put a scuba suit in. Excuse me. Anything? Alright, one more time, then we're going in the water. I haven't used the scuba system in this game, so I'm curious to see how it goes. Ooh, I fell in the water. Still looking like it's broke. Alright, in the water we go. With here though. Yeah, let's do this. Uh-oh. Freaking hose killed me. Oh, the bugs early access. The hose snake got me. Oh. Alright, round 2 of dealing with hose snake. Hopefully, if you die with the scuba gear, it puts it back. And no, of course not. It's down in the water, or is it gone for good? It is gone for good, maybe? Well, my body did go flying, so let's go see. Go see if my body's sitting somewhere over here. Kinda need that fluid hose. Oop, is that it? Pallet? Just an empty pallet. That is just an empty pallet. That is no help at all to any of us. Alright, well, I guess putting the ship back in workshop. Hey Sausage, how you doing today? Currently dealing with a early access bug. As you can see, the fluid hose doesn't want to cooperate. And it's herkin-dirkin around. Okay. Current dilemma. Okay, that's back in there. Respawn back in the world and give us round 2. You play Stormworks, Panda? Sausage? Sausage Panda? I don't know if you've dealt with this bug at all before. Very annoying. I had to put a scuba suit in my ship so I could stay down in the water long enough to try to bring it back up. I think we are actually doing pretty well. Anyway, assuming it doesn't try to kill me again. And we're good. Sweet. The old college try worked. That back. Oops. Button. Alright. Flip the valve. See, my diesel tank's 50,000 liters, and there's only 20,000 in the fill tank. Put that guy on. And probably go with maybe 5,000, just to be safe for now. I don't want to put everything in there, so my friends can have some fuel. At least until we go down to the refinery, I might go pick up some and bring it back. So yeah. The physics in this game are actually fairly accurate. Mass in water does affect how the ship operates. So if you're overburdened, then your ship is obviously going to sit in the water deeper. And I found out with my other ship that if you are overloaded, the rear end of the ship will obviously sag in the water, and not careful, you'll take on water. Learn that the hard way. And I think I put my gauge upside down because the red is supposed to be on top. Sweet. Maybe. Alright, I think that's good for that. Disengage connector. Go ahead and drag this guy off the ship. Bye-bye. See ya. Alright, let's go take this guy out for his first cruise. And like I was saying before at the beginning, this ship is all custom. Hasn't actually been tested yet with this new engines. That's what we're about to do right meow. That. Fire them up. And cool. Piped up all the hoses correctly. Engaged our clutch. Nice and easy. And we're off. Holy moly. Sucker's gonna have some torque. Alright, we'll get our map set here. Where is, there it is. Set waypoint. And we'll get here. That off. Indicator lights on. Throttle up. Okay. Looks like we're cruising pretty well here. Oh dear. There we go. Turn high gear on. Oops, too low. Uh-oh. There we go. Alright, and now that I know, yeah, this is the speed I was looking for. The medium engine won't even do this. So now I'll set my stabilizers. I'll keep the ship level. It's maxed out right there. So I'll have to readjust that once we... Oh dear. I may need to go get more fuel. And high gear's on. We should be good with high gear. We'll find out. Do the old college try, see what happens. My stabilizer's at, if you can see them. They're all the way down, looks like. And that just, all that does is just brings the ship, because before the rear end is more in the water than the front, so the stabilizer just brings the front down and allows the ship to travel across the water more evenly. And it's good for high swells and high waves. It keeps the ship from rocking up and down as bad. Yeah, it's got veggies on. You're good. Sorry, that was my wife bringing in my dinner. I am starving. I've not eaten all day today. Wow, I ate breakfast. So excuse me for eating, but I need to eat something. Excuse me. Alright, so far so good. What's our fuel consumption at? Well, we're actually doing pretty good. We're having two large engines. High gear definitely helps. Yeah, I'd say we're doing pretty good. We should be able to make a trip there and trip back. Speed's not too bad. Not for a ship this size. Let's see how bad it is once we get max capacity in it. These islands a little bit. So all these controls are for the diesel tank and the crude oil tank. And then these are all engine stuff, so I'm keeping an eye on the temps and everything. Right bank is running hotter. These are controls, high gear, which is that second gearbox I showed earlier in the stream. Alternator, keeps the batteries charged. Throttle, indicator lights for all these lights that turn on. You got your reverser, clutch. Reverse comes from the first gearbox. When you set the gear ratio, it's -1 to 1. And this is 9 to 5 gear ratio, I believe. And then coolant pumps for the engines are at the bottom. Back there in the back, you can kind of see in this view, you got the one that's on is the master fuel switch, which is the switch, or which this is the pump that runs from the main tank to the engines, and then I believe the second one from the right is the valve. It's actually the recirc valve. It's closed all the time, which I didn't mean to do that, but it actually worked out in favor, because when you hook up the refill hose, initially it'll just start pumping and you don't have any control. So in the end I actually have control. I can come in here and watch how much fuel I'm putting in the ship. And then the last one is the tank reverser. Basically it drains the tank. It's a pump that's it's on the same line as the fill. It's just a little offshoot of the fill line. So all I do is hit that. Actually, I don't have to hit the valve now. I just have to hit the valve when I'm filling it up. So yeah, it works out. Works out. This is the starter, and for some reason I didn't label it. Still work in progress. I want to make little deck spaces out here on the sides, try to mirror a real tanker ship. These are actually beds, but I saw on the other ship that I had that somebody used them, and it actually makes them look like the tank covers on a real tanker ship, so I'll just put them back. Ooh, I have a paint mark for the paint. Oops. Yeah, other than that, I mean, this game is really simple in terms of learning curve. It's more of having the creativity and the design ability to be able to come up with something, because you can build helicopters, you can build jets, you can build airplanes, you can build ships, you can build different types of ships. A couple of my buddies have fast cruisers for going out and saving people, which is another part of this game. You go out and do quests. Anyway, the helicopter. There's also trains. The last map we went to actually had a train yard. I haven't seen the train yard yet. I'm guessing it's probably over there. It's main island that we haven't opened up yet. But I had to assume that we were veering off course. But that's what I'm excited for. I like trains. It'd be fun to build a train from scratch and turn it into some kind of hauler. You can pull it up, but there's a building menu. Pretty sure you can build in the world. I think you have to have the permissions to do that. I'm interested to see if we can do our own kind of create a menu. Let's see if he blessed me. Create a menu. No, he didn't. Alright. It's dark. I don't have that front headlight hooked up to anything. Well, this could be fun. Yeah, I think I do. Let's see if I can go turn it on. Just don't have any access to it at the helm. Looks like I do need access at the helm for it. Wait. We're not too far away. It's the engine room hatch. We'll get there. We'll there's a boom arm. We have to go move and drop it on the ship on the input side. Yeah, that is the carrier, the oil decker. So I'm shooting for max capacity, but I don't think we actually have the cash in hand to do that. Actually, not even sure where the refinery is at. Oh. Yeah, it's not too far away. It's pretty close. Alright, when you start slowing down. No. Alright, so I can't see a darn thing here. Because me failed to put lights on my ship. Get the ship around here. Should be on this far side here, I believe. No, there it is. There's the boom arm. So swing around here to this boom arm, and we'll get loaded up. And it worked out in our favor because the input side's on that side anyways, so actually kind of helped us. Alrighty. I have not installed an anchor on this ship yet, so we'll see how far we drift. Hopefully not too far. I may actually be able to scuba suit that and bring it up. We'll find out. I don't think I have enough reach to bring it all the way down here and bring it back up. No, not what I was afraid of. Alright, we'll keep the scuba suit on and get up here and swing this boom around. Okay, oh, it's gonna hurt. Oh, okay, we just missed it. That was close. Thankfully, I got stuck. It's a long way down. Okay, get up here. Come on. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Come on, cooperate. There we go. Okay, get that hooked up. We're gonna turn the pump on. It should, in theory, fill up pretty quick. Yeah, there we go. So the goal is max, but we'll see how this ship does. 1,000 liters on it. See if she's really right in the water or pretty well. Should do pretty well. I made sure there's a lot of extra buoyancy in this thing. 6,000. Pretty well. And both those gauges look like they're upside down. Lovely. that high RPM killed our fuel mileage, so keep an eye on that on the way back. 10,000. Ship's still doing really well. Doing that, I'm gonna take my scuba suit off. Silent pump, can't even hear it. I should put a porthole back here so I can see what level actually is. Yeah, this ladder just hates life. Or hates me, one and two. I think it's just because of the location I put it in. It's the only convenient one to put ladder though. Give her the old college try a few times, get up there. Damn it. I did this once. Come on. There we go. Let's use the door. Use the door for assistance. Get up. You start too. My fault. What are we up to? 28,000? How's the ship looking? She's starting to sag in the water a little bit. It's a spot to sell diesel. At least that distance is shorter distance I traveled from, so less fuel. Also a lot more weight, so hopefully we make it there in time. Up to 35,000. Drifted in the dirt a little bit. At least it's holding us. I don't see any damage, which is positive. Definitely starting to squat now. The water line on the hole is about covered. We're up to 43,000 out of 266. While this is loading, I am going to eat my hamburger. Alright, so I did notice one thing. See, he's got a little choppy. And the nose of the ship is getting a little, oh, excuse me, a little dangerously close to the wave. So, I'm probably going to go ahead and shut it off here for now. That gauge. Just because I don't want to lose all the money I just invested in all this crude, so I'd rather play it safe and not load up the max like I was hoping to. Oh well. This means I need to make some improvements and modifications to it to hold the capacity. Go ahead and get this ship fired up. That is going against the waves, and it does not make me happy. Yeah, stabilizers. Definitely help with waves. See if I can cut into away from the waves a little bit. I actually having too much rocking. Looks like it. Seas are getting a little bit more choppy. I'm gonna cut back into them just to play it safe. I don't want to tip this thing over. There we go, that's the sweet spot. Ooh, now they're getting really choppy. I'm gonna cut a little bit stronger into them. I thought about putting baffles in the tank, but I don't know if baffles actually help with anything in this game. That realistic? Hey Otto, how you doing today? I'm currently driving my custom built ship that I built myself. Yeah, I can't complain. Got off work about an hour ago. I was casually, didn't want to, but I was casually eating food on stream just because I skipped lunch today. I was starving. Other than that, not too bad. Can't complain. Oh yeah, yeah. I think weren't you watching? I think you were watching one of my streams when I started working on this thing. She's doing good, doing good. I had to upgrade the engines and redo some of the piping for the fuel in the air. But yeah, she's doing great. The one thing I did find out is I can't max capacity it. I've got 60,000 liters in it right now, which so I think these are upside down. I'm not sure. But we're sitting at 71,000, and it's changing because of the waves. But it has a max of 266,000. I don't think we'll ever see that unless I do some heavy remodeling of the ship to make it more buoyant. But yeah, the stabilizers are doing good. Down here on the side of the ship, keeping me from hitting these waves quite as hard. Ooh, that was some water. Actually, I'm gonna take it off so I can kind of rock on the waves just a hair. There we go. Yeah, other than that, I finished up her paint job a little bit. I had to add a scuba suit because game glitched out, and the fueling hose it couldn't get out of the water, so I had to get a scuba suit and go down and get it. I ran out of air too quick without it. Hey, kiddo. Sorry, my kiddo woke up. But yeah, we got 70,000, yeah, about 70,000 liters of crude, and then we're gonna go take it to the refinery, try to see how much we get from it. It's about, I think it was like 13, no, almost $20,000 worth of crude. Oh yeah, yeah. He just woke up from his nap. It's 5:40 out here on the west coast. Need to going down. Take high gear off. Looks like I'm gonna have to get out and raise the bridge. Which is not good because we got high swells and I have no anchor. It's awesome. Ship with sharks. That's the best though. At least he likes bath time. Mine's only 4 months old and going 5 and doesn't really care for bath time right now. Alright. Try park it here. Hopefully the waves don't carry us into the rocks. Sure they're going to. That is my next thing on my to-do list of this ship, is put an anchor on it. Yeah, maybe your 5-year-old will come around. May just be an age thing. Hopefully. On the ship. Oh yeah, she's drifting. There we go. Turn. Oh, not good. Man, some large swells. Alright, let's try and thread a needle. That's about what this is gonna be like. Oh yeah, this is fun. Trying to offload this crap. All these waves. See if I can't maneuver a little bit here. No, I need to go the other direction. No, I think that's all we're gonna get. Which I guess works in our favor. Now, I need my scuba suit. Now, that's just right under the water. Okay. At least the ship's not going anywhere. Already basically docked. Come on. See if I release enough slack. I'll go back up there again. Looks like it might be enough. Be just enough. Not enough. Yeah, we should be good. Sweet. I need this connector. Go home. Oh crap, do I still have it? I need to turn on. Yeah, yes I do. There we go. Hooked up. And go turn the outbound pump on. Output, yeah. Money. Money, money, money. You still there, Otto? Can I show you what happened down here? So this is the final product of the engine bay. Purple is fuel, blue is water, black is exhaust, and orange is power. And fuel tank is right here. The rest of this is all crude storage, cargo storage. Pumps for outbound and inbound, and ballast blocks to kind of help balance. And oh, you just came back. Okay. This is the front of the ship. This is the inbound outbound pumps. The far one's outbound. Those are weight blocks for ballast for temporarily. I'm probably going to turn this whole front section into maybe a water storage so I can load ballast and unload ballast as I need. It's cargo storage. And then this last little bit here is fuel storage. No, that's just a graphical glitch. It's showing the water line through the wall. See, like that's the tire on the outside. Yeah, the game's still got little graphics bugs in it. And here's the engine room. The two large engines. The purples are fuel, blues are water, black's exhaust, and white is air. And orange is power. These go out to the side. There's scoops up on top of the captain's deck where it pulls in the air for the engines. And there's scoops in the bottom for the water. I have water pumps hooked up to them. This is a drain valve. And reroute the fuel if I need to drain the tank. Just turn the pump on and it'll pull it back out and into our storage. And back here's the gearboxes and the clutch and the alternator. This is how I get my reverse and high gear out of the two gearboxes. Oh yeah, yeah. I had to redo it because I kept filling it up a little bit to test it. I didn't have a way to drain the fuel back out, so I had to put a rerouting valve back in. Then I realized the in-game tanks weren't enough, so I had to build a cargo tank just for diesel. And then yeah, once I put the large engines in, I had to do a lot of replumbing. Yeah, they're quite a bit bigger. Went from 80 mass to 400 mass per engine. And then the middle stayed the same, and the rear stayed the same, at least. And then this pipes up to the back of the ship on the captain's deck. And I need to fix the ladder. I have to use the hatch to help boost me up, otherwise I just fall back down. I look like an idiot as I do that 20 times trying to get out of the hatch hole. And still at 49,000 to go. I did put the largest pumps, in so far at least. May need to do 2. I don't know how much throughput you can put on a pipe. Haven't figured it out yet. There's some things that the physics makes sense, and some other things the physics doesn't make sense. I'm hoping in future patches they improve some of the physics a bit. But it's pretty impressive for being early access. I like it. I think it's got a lot of potential. $45,000. Are you back to work, Otto? Wasn't sure if you got laid off because of the whole pandemic thing. Oh, yeah, I feel you on that one. Or you work for a dealership, or you work for like Meineke or something? I used to be a diesel mechanic for medium and heavy duty trucks for the city before I re-enlisted and went back to active duty. Now I'm a carpenter, mason, locksmith, metalworker. Okay, yeah, I understand that. So I'm guessing you're flat rate then. True. And at least you'll be in air conditioning. Wow, you guys aren't even flat rate? Is that standard for all the techs? You guys aren't flat rate in dealership? Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's how our quick lube techs were. Yeah, I don't blame you. Especially if there's no way to advance to get out of the quick lube or go into a mechanic or something. Yeah, I'd definitely be worth looking at something else. You can basically do the same job for a municipal or city or county and do the same thing for making more money. When I was a diesel mechanic, I was making $22 an hour, I think. I could be wrong. It was based off of how many ASE certs and EVT certs we had for emergency vehicle technician. Then I went to go be an industrial mechanic for the sewage plant for the city too. And that was $26 an hour. So yeah, for what you're doing there, turning the wrenches that you do, you could definitely be doing something better. Yeah, well, flat rate's not easy either. But yeah, I'm sure they're making a lot more. Flat rate has its goods and bads. If there's business, it's good. If there's no business, it's bad. It's especially nice when they have incentives and give you a bonus after turning so many hours. We had guys that would turn 60, 80 hours a week just in flat rate, and you get a pay boost for like every 10 hours above your 40. That was at the Ford dealership. But yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. I don't blame you for looking out, going elsewhere. Are you still wanting to stick with automotive, or you wanting to transfer to a different career? I mean, mechanic is a broad spectrum. You could even delve into like what I did, going from a diesel to industrial, and it's basically the same thing, same concept, same idea. Just you're turning wrenches on a pump or piping instead of on an engine. Yeah, the highway department would be a good job. And they're probably union, so hopefully the union takes care of its workers, but union mechanics, yeah, you'd be looking at mid-20s, 30s once you got there out of probation. Especially if you went up to be a diesel mechanic, which I think is easier than a car mechanic. Less electronics, less to worry about. But PC repair shop would be a tough one. It just depends on the market of the city that you're in. If they're already flooded with it, it'd be kind of painful trying to start that up. But if you're the only person that has a PC repair shop in the city, then you kind of got a monopoly, which would work in your favor. $80, that's cheap. A lot of places charge $100 now. You know, the dealership when I worked there back in 2011, they switched to $100 an hour after or right before I quit. Oh, the PC shop, yeah, that's a lot of money though. $80 an hour, yeah, you can definitely undercut him and still come out ahead. Trying to decide if I want to stay in the military or if I want to try to go back into IT, pursue my computer networking stuff again. Been out of it for almost 10 years now, but it's lucrative and I mean, it's pretty easy work. Matter of finishing the schooling and getting a job in the field. Huh, that's interesting. This is a mechanic in the Air Force. Interesting. Yeah, you're finally done. I do construction. I've done 3 tours so far. It's not too bad. I mean, being away from the family sucks. Oh, that's not good. There we go. Okay. I was getting my trim and stuff set. Yeah. No, I've heard of stuff like that. I guess yeah, it just depends on what his job was. If he wasn't able to perform his job, then yeah, we'll just medically separate him. Cheaper to do that than have to deal with any kind of medical issues that he might cause. or do to himself, or hurt himself more. That's how we look at it, but that's how the military looks at it. Ah. Yeah, they just opened up that career field when I left the first time in 2015. They're opening up to enlisted, and it seems like they're doing pretty good. They're still looking for RPA pilots, which is the UAV pilots. A little choppy out here. I mean, it's at least you got a Harley. There, quite a bit of money there. I think Microsoft would have been a little bit better option. Had more career growth potential, more money. But I mean, if he likes working on motorcycles, then hey, I'm all about passion. Well, I'm here doing this. I enjoy playing video games, and I might as well play video games and stream to everybody and try to have fun with it. So. Trying to get my butt up to affiliate so I can start doing all the affiliate stuff. I don't know if you popped in when I was playing Call of Duty, but I had a pretty good view count on Call of Duty, surprisingly. That's when I ticked 100, I think I had like 45 people view the channel at that time. That's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I hope anybody that streams and plays video games, it takes off for them. It's always nice. Yeah, I think I had 6 concurrent viewers at that time. I don't know how many of them are actually there. Not too many talked. I think only like 2 of them talked. Watching me fail at Warzone. I'm better at multiplayer. I need to circle around. No, that's all good. All good. I'll make it eventually. Keep telling myself. It's only uphill from here. Or downhill. Something like that. Go park the ship and get ready to go take over my child. About 15 minutes. The wife can get some stuff done. Are you trying to stream, or are you trying to you're trying to stream all 3 monitors, like that resolution? Or are you just trying to focus on one screen? May not be able to. That's gonna, for one, it's gonna take a lot of bit rate, which Twitch actually has a cap on their bit rate for non-affiliates. But I mean, do you use OBS or you use Streamlabs? Yeah, I'm not sure about OBS. I use Streamlabs. No, those are right. Thanks. Yeah, it's OBS. It's just a dummied down, I guess. Excuse me. More dummied down version. Makes it easier for simpletons. Me. I mean, should be when you double click on the game capture or display capture, you should be able to set the resolution manually in there if it's only default into 1920 by 1080. Assuming if it's like Streamlabs. Let me save this. Black hole over here, but I think OBS is similar to this. So if you go to your display capture, double click on it, pop up a settings display. You should be able to set your, well, which monitor you want, and you should be able to, if you have it set up, I don't know if you have an NVIDIA or ATI or AMD. If it in the settings, I mean, obviously it's going to default to whatever the three screen resolution is, probably like 4,000 something. It should give you the option to select, like, it'd be just display 1 at that resolution if OBS will allow that high of resolution. Then again, I don't know if OBS even goes that high. And then I think Twitch, unless your partner has resolution and bitrate caps. I know they have a bitrate cap, but I believe they have a resolution cap for non-partners. I think it's just at 1080. (1920 by 1080). Yeah, so you're looking at 1440p, which is higher than what Twitch recommends. So you'd have to run it at like 30 frames per second just to get that bit rate. But also, I mean, it's having to compress a 4,000 or 7,000 base resolution. So I mean, this is from Twitch's website, but this is just their specs for streaming at 1080p 60 FPS. Yeah, if anything, on the user end, 1080p is the best. Yeah, my upload is kind of sketchy at times, so I have to do it at 720p, but I'll get 720p at 60 frames, so it's between 30 and 60 frames. The 30 is okay, but 60 is the best. But if you can do 1080p at 60 frames, then yeah, just do that. That's all people are gonna really stream. Because you gotta think that, yeah, it might look good for you, but if I was to go watch your stream, it's only gonna pop up for 1080p for me. But I mean, if you're streaming to YouTube or something, or you're doing like a live broadcast on YouTube, and YouTube really doesn't have, YouTube doesn't have a set requirement. Spell a video, right? I think YouTube you can go up to, okay, yeah. I stream across 3 different platforms, but so like here's their, not their max, I don't believe, but this is what they recommend for bitrate wise to resolution, and that's just for 3840 by 2160. The 40 meg upload speed, 30,000 plus bit rate, and 60 frames. And that's just for streaming to YouTube. If you wanted to do it at a 2160p resolution. But Twitch, if you're not partnered with them, they cap out at 6,000 bits, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you're not partnered with them, they cap out at 6,000 bit rate. So you could push as much bit rate as you wanted to them, but they're only going to accept 6,000, which when I found out actually hurts your stream in the end. Because I mean they throttle your bandwidth to them, and it'll make your stream unstable and blocky, not look too good. Yeah, yeah. If you're not partnered with them, you don't get all the benefits, and even affiliates don't get the benefits. So I remember researching max bit rate, and yeah, right there, Twitch specifies a maximum bit rate of 6,000. So that's why they recommend 1080p max at 60 frames, because if you can turn your, I found out that if you turn your graphics down in game, you don't use as much bit rate because it's not having to compress all the graphics quality. And also, if you're using NVIDIA, make sure you use the NVEC new, which is in the settings. Yeah, this is my settings right here. I don't know if you can see that. So I have an RTX 2060 Super, and they recommend the NVIDIA encoder, the new one, because the RTX comes with its own processor for streaming, and the new encoder actually benefits from that. So it takes less GPU. Okay, yeah, so yeah, you have the same thing then. All the RTX series have a dedicated streaming GPU on them, streaming encoder. So it doesn't utilize the GPU as much to stream. It uses the encoder with built into the card. So yeah, this one definitely applies to you. Make sure you have that turned on. And this whole list here actually applies to you. And it goes all the way down to settings for recording, output tabs, and then setting up like your game mode, GPU utilization, and advanced settings, which is what I read mostly. Yeah, definitely go over that. That's where I got most of my base settings from, especially right here. It goes over all the advanced settings to use for streaming. But then, yeah, this is straight from NVIDIA for their RTX cards. And this one here is the most helpful because you can cross-reference your upload speed to figure out what bit rate you're at. Even though mine says my upload speed is 30 meg, but when I tried streaming at 6,000, I got nothing but a choppy stream, so I reduced it down to 5200, and that seems to be the best. Trying to do 1080p 720 is just where I'm gonna stick for now until I get some better internet. Honestly, the only thing that really matters between 720 and 1080 is the frames. That'll be how crisp your stream is. Then I think that is it. Here's the output settings. 20p at 60 frames. And I really didn't mess with too much of this other stuff. That one should be there. Yeah, it should definitely help you out though. Yeah, you might have to break it down. And the overlay, or not the overlay, but the control panel. Like I have MSI Optics G27C4 monitors, and they're 165 hertz. And make sure your refresh rate's proper too. I noticed that even with like VSync turned on, if your refresh rate to your monitor is not to the spec that you have it at, then it's gonna create a blocky stream as well. It's not synchronized. Okay. Yeah, if you're doing first-person shooters, the higher the hertz, the better. That's the amount of time it takes for. Well, it also depends on your internet speed, but for first-person shooters, the higher the hertz and the lower the response time, the better off you'll be. It's the difference between you shooting somebody and them shooting you. And make sure you probably did it, but make sure your G-Sync's on for your monitors. If your monitors are capable of it, that'll help out a lot too. Yeah, that would be my recommendation, my 2 cents. Just be to drop it down to 1080p and do 60 frames from there. That's all people are ever going to look at is 1080p. That's what most of your big name streamers do, or 1080p. Unless you're streaming to YouTube, then it's a different story, and you can go as high as you want. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do. That's all you can do then. Alright, man. I'm gonna head out and take over the kiddo so the wife can get some stuff done. It was good talking to you. Good catching up with you. I'm doing Farm Simulator tomorrow. I haven't decided if I want to continue with that or switch back to Call of Duty yet. We'll see how tonight goes. Oh, are you? Yeah, I'll probably stick with it. I haven't opened up in a hot second. I think I need to go through tonight and update my mods and update my map. Started at Pleasant Valley. I'm sure it's way out of date now. Yeah, you too. Hopefully see you tomorrow or talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, it is. All right, man. I'll catch you later.